you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. He's Hacker.
Talk about a fried egg. I lasted about 5 minutes out there. I said, to heck with this. I'll do this in the morning. And I don't have any inside information. The lady that did it, she got in there. She made it happen.
And he doesn't shy away from opinion.
And I do enjoy drinking cold beer at ballparks. So if that makes me a baseball fan, then I'm a diehard baseball fan.
It's Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
And a very good Thursday evening to you, Jacksonville. A little Hacker before dark, after dark here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. In for Rick Ballou, who's on vacation the remainder of the week. He'll be back with us on Monday. Rick will go back 6 to 8. I'll go back 8 to 10 in our normal time slot. Jaguar rookie minicamp on the doorstep. They're on the field tomorrow. They're on the field Saturday. I'll be down there tomorrow. Scheduled to chat with Jaguar fifth-round pick DeAndre Prince. Looking forward to meeting him and talking with him. We'll bring you that conversation 24 hours from now on a Friday night edition of Hacker After Dark. But I got some thoughts on the rookie class coming here to Jacksonville for minicamp, and then OTAs begin a week from Monday, and we are just over a month away from mandatory veteran minicamp. And at that point, in the middle part of June, that's it. For the off-season program, they'll take about 5 or 6 weeks off, and then they're in for training camp at the end of July. Guest lineup tonight looks like this. A lot of Jaguars, as you would imagine. Mark Long of the Associated Press joins us in less than 20 minutes to recap the draft, look ahead to rookie minicamp, OTAs, and more. Also at the top of the 7 o'clock hour, my buddy Matt Verderam of SI and the Monday Morning Quarterback. Matt is one of my favorite guys to talk Jags with, talk NFL at large with. If you haven't heard any of Matt Verderam on Hacker After Dark in our normal time slot from 8 to 10, I think you'll enjoy him. He's a guy that, he tells you what he thinks, and he really doesn't care what you think about his opinion, which I appreciate in today's day and age of sports media. So Matt Verderam at 7, Mark Long of the Associated Press coming up at about 6:15 or 6:20. So we're loaded here in hour number 1. We are glad you are with us. Let's kick it off with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Every night on Hacker After Dark, we give you a big deal of the night. And JJ LaSelva, let's do that right now.
Time now for the big deal of the night.
What's the big deal? What is the big deal?
No big deal.
It is a big deal.
On Hacker After Dark.
So 2 things have brought me some interest today in regards to the Jaguars. Number 1 is the rookie class, rookie minicamp getting underway. Like we said, we'll be down there tomorrow. They're also on the field on Saturday. This is a big year for Jaguar general manager Trent Baalke and his rookie class. You know, last year, the rookie class, we had hopes, but it was very apparent very quickly in the regular season that that class was going to take time to develop, I guess is a nice way to say it. Look, Anton Harrison was a beast. He was a great player, is going to be a great player, and probably is going to be on that Jaguar offensive line for the better part of the next decade. That, to me, at pick 27 in the 2023 draft, Harrison is a borderline home run pick already. And if he's as good moving forward as I believe he will be, that will be a home run pick. After that, there just wasn't a lot until Antonio Johnson all the way down in round 5. Brenton Strange, you knew he was going to be a backup. He really didn't give you very much. Tank Bigsby, you knew he was going to be a backup. Quite frankly, the only thing he really gave you, a couple of short yardage touchdowns, but a lot of fumbles, right? A lot of game-changing turnovers. Ventrell Miller, unfortunately, got hurt. You never really saw what you had there. Tyler Lacey was a guy. Yasir Abdullah didn't dress for the better part of the last half of the season. You saw glimpses from Parker Washington, I suppose. Antonio Johnson looks like he's going to be a guy in round 5. But by and large, the 2023 class left a lot to be desired. So now we fast forward to 2024 as the rookies arrive in town for minicamp. And this is a rookie class that more is going to be relied on them, a lot more, than last year. All right, let's just begin. Brian Thomas, you're hoping he replaces Calvin Ridley, point blank and period. You're hoping Brian Thomas is a focal point of this offense. He is going to be a crucial part of what the Jaguars do, even though he's only a rookie. Mason Smith is going to be a vital part of that Jaguar defensive line, as is Jordan Jefferson in round 4. Those guys are going to play. And I believe those guys are going to play a heck of a lot more than what we saw from Tyler Lacey and Yasir Abdullah last year. Jarian Jones, round 3, Florida State, that guy is going to play. He might be your starting nickel. But if he isn't, he's certainly going to be in the rotation. All right? Javon Foster probably won't play this year unless there's an injury. But Javon Foster, there's a very real possibility that guy's going to be on the starting offensive line in 2025. Keelan Robinson, the 5th-round pick, he'll probably be on every return you got, along with Devin Duvernay, the kickoff return. Cam Little is your kicker in round 6. And the only quote-unquote developmental project-type guy they probably drafted was Miles Cole in round 7. DeAndre Prince, who I'm going to talk to, round 5, he's going to have every opportunity to make the 53-man roster. And as a 5th-round pick, you probably should, right? Round 7, round 6, By the time you get to round 5, if you don't make the 53-man roster as a 5th-round pick, that's kind of disappointing. At absolute worst, Prince will be on the practice squad, as will Miles Cole. But you hope Cole and Prince show enough to get on the 53-man roster. So as rookie minicamp kicks off, it's a big, big deal. Big deal. Much bigger deal for this rookie class than what we had last year. We had hopes last year, and we tried to pretend to be fired up about Brenton Strange and Tank Bigsby, but ultimately that did not come to fruition. Now, it is a big year for those two guys in particular, their sophomore seasons. They need to play better. A lot better than they did year 1. I hope they do that. But for this rookie class, they are going to be relied on a lot more in year number 1 than last year's rookie class was. So again, a lot more on Jaguar rookie minicamp tomorrow. A lot of us will be down there. I know Carline will be down there. I'll be down there. I believe we're scheduled to talk with DeAndre Prince. I believe Mason Smith's going to join Hayes tomorrow as well. So we'll have a lot of Jaguar rookie minicamp coverage here for you on your home of the Jacksonville Jaguars 1010XL. The other thing that piqued my interest today is I truly hope, and I mean this, I truly hope that we're not about to go down the same road with the Jaguars that we went down in May, June, July, and August of last year. And what do I mean by that? Well, I'll tell you what I mean. Last year, there were good veteran edge pass rushers available. Leonard Floyd, Jadeveon Clowney, Kyle Van Noy, Yannick Ngakoue, Justin Houston, just to name a few. Melvin Ingram, right? And every time a mini camp or an OTA would happen and we'd have availability to talk with Doug Peterson, Mike Caldwell at the time, and or Trent Baalke at the time, inevitably someone in the local media would ask, hey guys, there doesn't appear to be too much behind Trayvon Walker and Josh Allen. Do you think you need to sign one of these veteran edge pass rushers? And every time we got, no, we're going to watch the market and we'll see what happens, but we like our young guys. We think our young guys are going to develop. That was a mistake. That was a big mistake. The young guys did not develop. And as we all talked about in May, June, July, and August, come September, October, November, they had absolutely nothing behind Josh Allen and Trayvon Walker in regards to affecting the opposing quarterback. And when a media and a fan base knows that, it was kind of unsettling, I guess, that the general manager and or head coach did not realize that. Maybe they did. Maybe they were being stubborn. I don't know. I truly hope we don't do this again. Bud Dupree, Carl Lawson, Ngakoue, Justin Houston again. There are veteran edge pass rushers available. Are any of these guys going to come in and give you double-digit sacks? No, they're not. But they just need to come in and be somewhat serviceable for 15 to 20 snaps a game. Let Trayvon Walker and Josh Allen go to the sideline and get, some Gatorade in them, for crying out loud. Not have them out there every single pass rushing situation. And by the way, how unbelievably lucky you were that Allen and Walker did not get hurt last year. Imagine if one of those guys or both of those guys would have gone down. Good grief. But I see Bud Dupree making the rounds, right? Bud Dupree was in Las Vegas today talking to the Raiders. He's talked to Atlanta about coming back there. He's talked to Pittsburgh about reuniting there. Why isn't Jacksonville in that conversation? Honestly, why? Carl Lawson, I know that he's a little older. He's got an ACL in his past. I get it. But can he come in and give you 15 to 20 snaps? Why isn't he in the conversation here? What do you have behind Josh Allen and Trayvon Walker? You got Trevis Gibson, who had 7 sacks in 2021 in Chicago. And that's it, right? I mean, can Armstead play outside? Yeah, he can. I don't think that's what they brought him in for. Yasir Abdullah, you're going to rely on him? That's one of the guys we were told was going to develop. Tyler Lacey? You need somebody else. I think the same argument could go at corner. I see an interview today with Josina Anderson from Stephon Gilmore. He's out there flapping in the breeze, waiting for an opportunity. He said he's waiting for his phone to ring. If the Jaguars sign Stephon Gilmore right now, is he the second best corner on this team? Tyson Campbell would still be 1. Who would you take, Stephon Gilmore or Ronald Darby? Stephon Gilmore or Jarian Jones? Stephon Gilmore, Gregory Jr., Monteric Brown, DeAndre Prince. And the Jaguars have money. That's the thing. You're not going to give these guys a multi-year deal. You're going to sign them for 1 year. They're going to be a 1-year rental. You know who else were 1-year rentals? Kyle Van Noy and Jadeveon Clowney in Baltimore. And they were awesome last year for the Ravens. Awesome. Baltimore got Clowney in August. They signed Van Noy in early September. And Van Noy and Clowney would have clearly been the third best option here in Jacksonville to affect the opposing quarterback. Let's not do this again. Let's learn from the mistake we made last year. You should have brought in veterans after the draft last year. The Jaguars chose not to do that. That was a mistake. That was a miss. You have not upgraded the depth at the edge pass rush position. You haven't. I don't know if you've upgraded corner from where the year ended. Darius Williams, Trey Herndon out. Ronald Darby, Jarian Jones in. Is that an upgrade? I don't know. Doesn't look like that much of an upgrade on paper. What is the harm in going to talk to a Bud Dupree or a Carl Lawson or a Stephon Gilmore or a Xavier Howard? Yeah, these guys are not long-term answers. They're short-term answers. But you know what? You need to win in 2024. Based on the way last year ended. This is a big year for a lot of different parties. Don't do it again. I don't want to hear our young guys are going to develop. We heard that for 4 months last year. It did not happen. Go out and bring in some veteran help on the edge and potentially some veteran help at corner. To me, there is not a good, plausible reason not to do that. I thought last year may have been honestly a little bit of stubbornness. I hope we don't go down that same road 1 year later. 641-1010 on the phone line and on the text line. Designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Your phone calls, your texts are always welcome here on Hacker After Dark. Coming up next, Mark Long of the Associated Press. Let's talk Jaguar draft. Let's talk some of the recent releases in the last week or so. By the way, speaking of that, I went on Kansas City radio earlier this afternoon. They're pretty convinced the Chiefs are going to sign Zay Jones. Zay apparently is visiting Kansas City today. He's already visited Dallas. He's already visited Arizona. He visited Tennessee prior to them signing Tyler Boyd. Zay Jones is on a world tour of NFL practice facilities. But talking to the folks in Kansas City, they had me on to talk about Zay because they think they're going to sign him. And wouldn't that be just ironic? Of all places Zay Jones could go, he potentially is going to go to Kansas City and play with Mahomes. Good grief. But we'll talk about the release of Zay Jones, the draft class, rookie minicamp, the offseason, and what the Jaguars should do moving forward. Mark Long of the Associated Press comes up next. It is a Thursday evening in Jacksonville, Florida, and we're glad you're with us. Hacker After Dark, in for Blue, right here on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM.
Does Flutie have a pro miracle?
I'm Doug Flutie on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Here's Flutie rolling out, and he is in for the touchdown!
What makes a Honda certified pre-owned vehicle so special? 182-point inspection, 24/7 roadside assistance, first-year free oil changes, and a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty for carefree driving backed by American Honda. Visit your local Honda dealer today.
Man, it is a beautiful day to fish.
Here's your life jacket.
You know I can swim, right?
So could a lot of people who died falling overboard.
Come on, I'm not a kid.
Fatalities are often men over 30.
It's too hot to wear one.
These new ones are
There, happy? Ooh, I got one!
Glad you wore the life jacket?
Okay, yes.
Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission reminds you to wear your life jacket. Visit wearitflorida.com. Wear it, Florida.
David Lane here again for Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. After several surgeries for age-old issues, mainly my back and shoulders, there's no doubt that Southeast Orthopedic Specialist is my sustaining resource for living pain-free. Take it from me, and I'm being really honest here, there's no better orthopedic facility here in Jacksonville.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
It's tune-up time, and Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars, wants to partner with you for a cool summer season. Tune up your AC unit right now so it's running at peak performance when you need it most. Just call 777-4300 and order a tune-up for just $59. Keep your unit humming at optimal level. Log on to FloridaHomeAC.com and take advantage of their savings. Keep cool with Florida Home AC. That's 777-4300.
Start your Saturday with a whiff of the great outdoors.
Captain Kevin Favor here with Captain Kirk and Jeff Loggeman, and we bring you the fresh air of the great outdoors.
On the Nimnit Outdoors Show, presented by Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning on 1010XL.
Prosser here for Lifetime Flooring. You've heard us rave about Lifetime enclosures. Now let's talk about Lifetime Flooring. I can tell you firsthand, the products and services, the best in Jacksonville. As you know, updating your floors is one of the most dramatic changes you can make to your home. Call the experts at Lifetime Flooring now and ask about their buy one room, get one room free promotion through Memorial Day. 0% financing available to meet any budget. Visit their beautiful showroom just off Phillips Highway and tell them Prosser sent you.
Hey, it's Roger Moore, CEO of Loan Pronto. If you're like me, you're getting crushed by rising costs of everything these days. I get it. It's brutal, and credit card rates are ridiculous and going higher. That's why at Loan Pronto, we launched our Express Equity Line of Credit to bring you the relief you and your family need, using your home, your most valuable asset. We've helped thousands of people like you get fast relief with cash. The average homeowner who does this gets tens of thousands in just days and is able to save $850 per month in overall expenses. I'm talking life-changing money. Your money that you have access to right now. Listen, if you're ready to get control of your finances and get off the hamster wheel, call Loan Pronto. You can get approved for Express Equity Line of Credit in just minutes, and we can get your cash in less than a week. Stop digging a deeper credit card hole today. Call Loan Pronto now. 904-999-1508. 904-999-1508. LoanPronto.com. 904-999-1508.
Equal housing lender. NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval. NMLS ConsumerAccess.org.
I'm Clayton Bromberg, the president of Underwoods. Since 1928, people have admired diamond solitaire necklaces and ear studs that we've hand-selected and put together because of the way they sparkle on a lady's neck or ear. And now, through May 31st, Underwoods is putting all of our diamond solitaire necklaces and ear studs on sale at 15% below our everyday price. We also take trade-ins on these pieces of jewelry, so if you're thinking about growing a diamond solitaire necklace or a pair of diamond studs up to a larger size, it's an ideal time to come see us. To give an example, we normally sell our 1-carat total weight diamond stud earrings for $3,150, but right now they're on sale for $2,677.50. Our diamond solitaire necklaces are priced the same way, with sizes from 1/5 carat total weight up to 7 carats total weight. So if you need a gift that says forever, make it an Underwood diamond solitaire necklace or a pair of diamond stud earrings at Underwood's in San Marco, Avondale, and the shops at Ponte Vedra.
Hey sports fans, this is Hayes Carlyon from MyBookie. The NBA playoffs are heating up and it's the perfect time to elevate your game with MyBookie. With MyBookie, you can bet from anywhere, anytime, so you never miss a shot to cash in on a play. You can even live stream and bet on the games right from the sportsbook, giving you everything you'll need to decide, cash out or let it ride. MyBookie really makes it easy to get paid with tons of boosted props and slam dunk parlays, and new boosts are now posted on the daily. It's more than just a sportsbook. Buzzer beaters, underdog upsets, and a community to share in all of the sweats. Give yourself a head start today and play with house money using promo code 1010XL when you make your first deposit. That's promo code 1010XL to claim a limited time bonus when you sign up and make your first deposit. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere, only with MyBookie. And don't forget that promo code 1010XL.
Lauren Brooks here from Mayport CNC Fisheries. At my house, we had a feast from Mayport CNC Fisheries with the freshest shrimp around, and it was unbelievable. They also have oysters, scallops, mahi, and so much more. Want to eat like a local? Head to the beach and visit my friends at Mayport CNC Fisheries.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Let's ring up another guest on the All-Pro Roofing phone line.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. The Jaguar draft in the rearview mirror. 9 new Jaguars were selected. And, of course, the ramifications of the draft that have come since, including the release of wide receiver Zay Jones. There's a lot to get into. With that, my buddy Mark Long of the Associated Press. He's always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL in Jacksonville. Mark, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you, Hacker?
Mark, we're good. Thank you for the time, and we'll get to the draft class in a moment, but let's begin with Zay Jones. I guess the writing was on the wall after the Brian Thomas draft pick. I know a lot of Jaguar fans were hoping they could figure it out to keep Zay, but ultimately a money move, wide receiver 4, making that much cash, it wasn't in the cards.
Yeah, and not only that, but, you know, he wasn't available last year, so he missed 8 games with knee and hamstring injuries. He got arrested for the domestic violence. I know that thing was dropped, but, you know, still it's about his availability and makes it very hard to keep a guy paying him $10.8 million, or at least that's his cap number, you know, when he's not available. So I think they were looking to upgrade the position, and they did that with Gabe Davis. Think about it this. Go back, you know, he would have been cut a month ago, more than a month ago, a month and a half ago, had they signed Calvin Ridley. The plan was to bring Calvin Ridley back, and they signed Gabe Davis to replace Zay Jones. So the writing's been on the wall for really 6 weeks for Zay Jones that he was persona non grata and he was the odd man out, and they wanted to move on and upgrade that thing. And drafting Brian Thomas certainly did it. I think bigger than drafting Brian Thomas and signing Gabe Davis was really the fact that they're going to bring in Jarvis Landry. This is a guy, 5-time Pro Bowler, who was out of the league last year. And I think they're looking at him and going, okay, listen, this could absolutely be an upgrade from Zay Jones. Landry's not necessarily a slot guy. I think he's probably more of an outside guy. Maybe he'll probably play some in the slot. But, you know, he's certainly a guy who could replace Zay Jones and maybe even be more productive than Zay, you know, assuming he's fully healthy, and he's going to be at their rookie minicamp next weekend, and we'll see what he's got at 31 years old.
You know, it's interesting you bring that aspect of it up. I hadn't thought about Jarvis Landry. To me, that's an interesting story. But quickly, final thought on Zay. Boy, the fans really liked him. You know, a very short amount of time. He made some great memories here from the Dallas catch, the deep pass from Trevor, the 2-point conversion against Baltimore. Certainly the fans really hated to see him go.
Yeah, and rightfully so. He is, by all accounts, a generally nice guy. And we have been in the locker room with him for 2 years. There's not many nicer humans to be around than Zay Jones. Christian Kirk, Evan Ingram, Trevor Lawrence, Josh Allen. I mean, there's a long list of them in that locker room. But I've been doing this, this is my 21st year, I think, covering the Jags. And I'd have to put Zay Jones in terms of just nice human beings, pleasant to be around, enjoyable to talk to, really deep guys. I'd have to put him in the top 5. We just don't find that very often in society, let alone in an NFL locker room. So from that standpoint, I think the fans connected with him. He's absolutely real. He is who he wants. He is who he is, and he says what he says. And I think people respect that and enjoy that. So he will be missed, no doubt. He'll get another job. Somebody will take a flyer here on Zay Jones, and he'll go and impress somebody. He's in fantastic shape, always has been. And, he'll go in and interview, and people will fall in love with him, which I think the Jags did when they signed him to that 3-year, $24 million deal in 2022.
Mark Long of the AP. Yeah, we lost 2 good ones in the locker room from our standpoint, Zay Jones and Rayshawn Jenkins. Those guys were always good for a soundbite. They'll be hard to replace as far as that goes. All right, Brian Thomas, the first-round pick. He now goes with Gabe Davis and Christian Kirk. I guess presumably Parker Washington, Devin Duvernay. You mentioned Jarvis Landry. That's an interesting thought. How does the wide receiver room as a whole now shape up with Thomas's arrival and Jones's departure?
Well, it's deeper, right? That's the big thing. What got exposed last year is when with Zay Jones and Christian Kirk both got hurt, that receiving core was exposed. It was Calvin Ridley and honestly a bunch of scrubs. I don't really know how else to put it. Jamal Agnew was not a receiver. Tim Jones, Parker Washington, Elijah Cook, Seth Williams, not ready. And we saw it. 2 of the injuries Trevor Lawrence sustained can be directly related to Parker Washington not doing what he was supposed to do. So you just can't live like that. You can't have that mix of a receiving core when you think you've got a franchise quarterback, when you think, you're an 8-3 AFC South dominant team. That's who you think you are. And you got to take into account injuries are part of the game and they're going to happen. So you better have capable backups. This team took a gamble and went really young in the backup department last year, and it backfired. So they went out and they've upgraded. They've upgraded with Devin Duvernay over Jamal Agnew in terms of receiver-wise. I don't know if Devin Duvernay is going to be a better returner, but he's certainly a better receiver, more accomplished receiver than Jamal Agnew. Brian Thomas is a huge upgrade from Zay Jones as a starter. They think, or you look at it like this, Brian Thomas, they think can be a huge upgrade from Calvin Ridley. Gabe Davis, they think will be an upgrade from Zay Jones. And then I go and I look at, a guy like Jarvis Landry, and I'm, okay, now that's a guy, if you can get him, he played for $3 million 2 years. If you can get him for $3 million, that's a much better salary than what you're paying Zay Jones. And he's obviously, more accomplished. And that's a guy that if you had to throw him in there, you could throw him in there and feel really good about it. Go back a few years. They had a guy, they had the Minnesota guy. What was his name? I can't think of him right now. I'm going to kick myself. But anyway, Laquan Treadwell.
Laquan Treadwell. Great practice player,
had
Mark.
Him. He wasn't a 1 or a 2 or even a 3. They just had this veteran guy sitting on the bench. But when they threw him out there, the game wasn't too big for him. The moment wasn't too much for him. He wasn't going to blow by defenses. He wasn't going to, kill you over the middle. But he was a guy who would do what you asked him to do if you need him to do it. And so that's what they needed to get back to that. If they're going to bring Parker Washington along, if they're going to bring Elijah Cooks along, that's fine. But you can't do it with those guys being backups. And by the way, I think what you got to look at is when you look at what they did with this free agent draft class, They signed 13 undrafted free agents. Well, 5 of them are receivers. So clearly they're looking for more from this receiving core. And when I look at that, 5 undrafted guys coming in, I think, okay, if I'm Elijah Cooks, if I'm Seth Williams, if I'm Parker Washington, I'm worried about my job because they're coming. They're gonna probably keep one of those guys, and they're all big guys, or most of them are. Cephas is 6'3", Wayne Ruby 6'1", Joseph Scottis 6'2", and David White Jr. 6'4". So they brought in some height in there to see what they can get. Maybe they can go find a better version of Elijah Cooks, a better version of Parker Washington.
Couple more from Mark Long of the Associated Press. Mark, they went back to Baton Rouge twice to get Mason Smith and Jordan Jefferson on the defensive line. And one thing I'll say about Trent Baalke, and I know he gets a fair share of criticism, I think some of it is unwarranted, but at that postseason press conference that you were at back in, January, late January, a couple of weeks after the season, at that point everybody's talking about Josh Allen and what the future is there, or Calvin Ridley, what the future is there. But one of the things Baalke said, we need to get bigger, more physical, and tougher on the line of scrimmage. And you look at what they did. Free agency, Eric Armstead, Trevis Gibson, Mitch Morse, re-sign Ezra Cleveland, and now in the draft with Mason Smith and Jordan Jefferson, Javon Foster, throw in the 7th-rounder Miles Cole. That's 8 guys, 280 or bigger, that they're going to plug in on the line of scrimmage on both the O-line and the D-line. From that standpoint, Baalke did exactly what he said he was going to do.
Yeah, and it's Baalke's playbook, right? Like, he still is a firm believer that this is a big man league, and you win on the lines of scrimmage, you win in the trenches, you win by being bigger, better, faster than everybody else. So that's what he went out and did. He stuck to his guns and did that. And you go and you look, 3 of those guys from LSU, clearly they relied on inside linebackers coach Matt House, who spent the last 2 seasons as LSU's defensive coordinator. They relied on him to get some talent from that LSU team, get them in the building right now. And I would not be surprised if all of those guys, their first 4 picks, are certainly contributing right out of the gate. And then you look at picks 5, 6, and 7, very much special teams picks. DeAndre Prince from Ole Miss, he's going to be a complete gunner right off of the gate. Keelan Robinson's going to be a returner right out of the gate. Cam Little's going to be their starting kicker. And then you look at the very last pick, you mentioned him, 280 pounds, Miles Cole. That's just going to be – that's a project. This was not a very deep draft. You got into those later rounds, and it was just pick your poison at that point. Pick a guy and see how he develops. And so for them, they're taking this guy. They'll probably stash him on the practice squad, stash him somewhere for a couple years and see how he develops. You can't teach size. You can't teach a 7'3" wingspan. So you see what this guy, Miles Cole, maybe can develop into at this level.
Mark, how does Jerrion Jones fit into the corner room with Tyson Campbell, Ronald Darby, and Darnell Savage?
Yeah, I would say he's your nickel corner. I didn't love that pick, to be honest, and I like Jerrion Jones. I liked him at Florida State, but he wasn't good enough at Florida State to be an outside cornerback, and he was very good inside. I think the ESPN stats and info called him one of the best guys. He didn't have a touchdown in 436 coverage snaps over his last 2 years with the Noles. That's impressive. So, I think he got a 33% completion percentage as a targeted defender in FBS, which is, fantastic rate. So he's got some skills, no doubt. I don't know how he's going to how it's going to translate to the next level. I wanted them to get an outside cornerback. I thought Ronald Darby was the weak link in terms of can you depend on him? He's been a journeyman. He hasn't been able to stay healthy very often. So I thought that was where they needed to go. I was expecting them to go there at 17 or trade down and still go there at 23. They didn't. And wait until the 3rd round, I get it. They still managed to get a guy they think can plug and play right away, can be that inside cornerback, that nickel cornerback, which is, going to play 75, 80% of the snaps. But, I just wonder about the long-term viability of this thing. You've signed Ronald Darby. I think he signed a 2-year deal. Tyson Campbell's entering his final year of his deal. So you got a huge hole there moving forward long-term. And then what does this do to Darnell Savage and Antonio Johnson? You got Cisco, Johnson, and Savage, all three safeties. One of them, there was talk about one of them playing nickel. Now all of a sudden with Jerrion Jones in, you got to think Jerrion Jones will be the nickel or at least rotate there. So to me, it leaves a lot of doubt as to where everybody's going to play, because you've paid or drafted 6 guys for basically 5 spots. Somebody's going to be the odd man out. And if it's Jerrion Jones, then you drafted the wrong guy in the 3rd round.
Final moments with Mark Wong of the AP. Mark, as we wrap up, they got money, man. They saved another $5+ million releasing Joey Sly and Zay Jones. They already had top 5 cap money available of any team in the league. You mentioned corner. Xavier Howard, Marshawn Lattimore potentially, Stephon Gilmore. Obviously Band-Aids, right? Not long-term guys, but there's corners out there. There's also rush-ins like Bud Dupree. I mean, we did this song and dance last year where we kept asking, are they going to bring in a veteran? And they never did. I wonder if they learned their lesson last year. Do you foresee them bringing in somebody in the coming weeks?
Yeah, I think a lot of it depends on what Trevor Lawrence's contract looks like. I do think they're getting close to signing Trevor. I don't know how close, but closer than they were a month or 2 ago. So what does Trevor's contract looks like? How much money is that in year 1? How low? But if they can get that cap number to be pretty low, then absolutely. And I would say the number one spot they got to go address is that pass rusher. You're not getting it done with Yasir Abdullah unless he's all of a sudden, taking some huge step. It doesn't even look like he's going to be a defensive end if you're switching to a 4-3. Trevis Gibson, okay, he's had some moments, but they've been spoiled around here, unbelievably spoiled for 2 years with the availability and durability of Josh Allen and Trayvon Walker. And it would be a real mistake to go in and assume that's going to happen for a 3rd straight year. I think you got to go in and go find yourself an upgrade from DeJuan Smoot. Go find yourself an upgrade from Kayvon Chason. They're out there. You're just going to have to pay for them. They didn't do it last year, and it really hurt them. They could not get to the pass rusher outside those top 2 guys. So they got to go get better right there. That would be my number one spot for sure. Cornerback, if the right guy's there, for sure. But, again, like I said, you've already invested in 6 guys for 5 spots. You go sign a veteran to come in and take 1. Now all of a sudden you've invested in 6 guys for 4 spots. That leaves 2 of them sitting on the pine. And I don't know if they're ready to do that quite yet.
Mark Wong of the Associated Press. Mark, I know you're busy, man. Thank you for the time. We certainly appreciate it. We'll see you out there at OTAs.
Sounds good. Thanks, Hacker.
1. Frangie and Hicken on Mondays. 2. Denny Thompson and Hacker on Wednesdays.
Who's counting?
1010XL now has 2 original Gator podcasts each week.
One for you, and one for me.
Search 1010XL Florida Gators wherever you find podcasts or visit 1010XL.com.
If you've played sports or still lead an active life, chances are joint pain is nothing new. This is Dr. George Barry of Barry Orthopedics, and we like to be your option when it comes to taking care of your body and getting back in the game. From shoulders to elbows to hip and knee pain, Barry Orthopedics can diagnose and treat a variety of injuries that are causing you pain. We are Barry Orthopedics and online at barryorthopedics.com. With more than 30 years of experience, our team is here to care for your entire family.
Find out more at barryorthopedics.com. That's BAHRI orthopedics.com.
Splish, splash, I'm taking up.
Everything okay in here?
Oh, yeah, sure is.
You're wearing a life jacket.
Sure am.
In the tub?
Practicing for when we head to the lake. I read about wearing one at wearitflorida.com.
And wearitflorida.com told you to wear it in the tub?
Nope, that was my idea. You know, Florida is the leader in boating fatalities, so a life jacket can save lives.
As you were.
Splish, splash, I was taking a
Learn more at wearitflorida.com.
American Electrical is looking for bright minds and hard workers to help light up North Florida. This community continues to grow, and now you can grow your career with a company that will make sure you succeed through commitment. American Electrical even has its own academy dedicated to training select students, the electrical trade, and the best news, it's free of charge. Log on to American-Electrical.com to find out more. They're leading the way in electrical contractors on the First Coast. American-Electrical.com.
Calling all poker enthusiasts. Poker Atlas Tour is bringing 7 action-packed poker events to Best Bet St. Augustine, June 6th to 16th, including the $600 no-limit hold'em title event with a $200,000 guarantee. Plus, don't miss Event 1, a $300 no-limit hold'em tournament featuring a $100,000 guarantee. Satellites happening now at Best Bet St. Augustine. Visit bestbetjacks.com for tournament structures and all the details. That's bestbetjacks.com.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On May 9, 1987, Orioles first baseman Eddie Murray is the first to switch hit home runs in 2 consecutive games.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin. Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now. I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code TRUNK for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code TRUNK for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code TRUNK.
Prosser here. As you may or may not know by now, I did the research and decided to go with Jack's Concrete Coatings for my garage floor. OMG, as the kids would say. I can't begin to tell you how good it looks, how happy we are. We brag on it anytime someone walks in the garage. They had the job finished in 1 day with a lifetime warranty. That's right. As the certified Pintech dealer for North Florida, the only company offering pure polyurea, I can't wait to do my patio deck next. Call 862-2000. That's the number, 862-2000, or jacksconcretecoatings.com.
Are you ready to help lock down the bank in 2024? Don't miss.
Years, because there's never any hocus pocus. The Merit team will walk you through the diagnostic steps up close and personal and show you